Hello and welcome to the second episode of my coffee reviews. And today I'm going to be doing another flavor of Hawaiian Isles coffee. And I just had gotten, for Christmas time, we had gotten this little sampler pack of different types of Hawaiian Isles coffee. And I'm going to be reviewing each flavor of this little pack that we got. So I know that every year that they do come out with this type of pack for Christmas time to be given as it's like a gift pack, you know. Just to show you here. And today's flavor that I'm going to be reviewing is going to be the Vanilla Mac Nut. So let's get this out of the way. Yeah, so I'm going to be percolating this coffee because this is a regular percolating coffee. It's not the K-cups like I did on the last video. The last video was the chocolate macadamian nut version of this coffee. And by the way, the bags don't look like this. This is obviously because it's part of a smaller pack of coffee. The bags are about maybe 4 times the size, anywhere from double or 4 times the size. And they usually have like a little hole somewhere on the package that you can smell the coffee through. So what you do is you go up to it and you put your nose up to it and you squeeze it, and then you can smell like a little puff of air will come out, and you can smell the aroma of the coffee. And that's usually where you can actually literally, and I don't want to say taste, but you can definitely get a feel or a feel for the flavor of coffee through that smell. It comes the little puff of air that comes out of the pack. But these little small ones don't have that. The big ones do. So I'm going to percolate this coffee and take me about maybe 25 minutes. I'm going to be using a regular percolator, and we'll come back and I'll do a taste test on this and through the different ways that one might serve coffee, which is straight up black with sweetener and with milk and sweetener. Okay, I'll be right back. Thanks. Hi. Okay, so I'm back and I've percolated the coffee. This let me show you this. The Vanilla Macadamian Nut Hawaiian Isles Kona coffee. So I percolated it for 25 minutes in my antique coffee maker. Actually, it's what my mom let me use her coffee maker. She swears by it. So then of course I'm going to let her have a cup of coffee. So now I just wanted to say some things before I pour the coffee. Is that this particular brand here and this particular one I'm doing has a 10% Kona blend like the other one. And it's basically part of the same package, which was part of the chocolate and macadamia nut. But this one has a 10% Kona coffee blend. And I'm going to find out what the other coffees are that are being blended in here. I have to do some research, but I'm going to find out. Okay, so we're going to start off with straight up black coffee. See that? It's probably going to be too hot to drink, so I'm just going to wait. I might have to put it on pause for a little bit. But yeah, see how that nice little steam coming out of there. Now, one thing about this was that I found really nice was that as it percolated, the aroma of the vanilla and the macadamia nut was very prominent coming out of the percolator. So it does percolate really well in terms of getting you started and saying, yeah, I want to drink that coffee, So we're just going to do a little stirring to see if we can cool it off a little bit. And before I put by the way, this is a 2% 2% milk, okay, skim milk. That's what my creamer is going to be. And then I have, like the other video, I still have the C&H cane sugar, granulated white. And I know a lot of people say that that's not too healthy, but I'm just going to go with straight up sugar. Usually I use stevia, but for the purposes that, because this is more, I guess maybe, you know, this is the classic, using sugar and milk in your coffee. So that's what I'm going to go for. And obviously you can use whatever sweetener that suits you, whether it be Splenda or honey or maple syrup or whatever. I mean, I think it would definitely have a different, that would be a totally different video if I used things like honey and maple syrup, because I think it could change the taste of the coffee as it mixes with the vanilla or the chocolate, whatever. But I just wanted to stick with some of the basics and have it be a lot more neutral in my review. Now, of course, I just want to make a little disclaimer in saying this is just my taste buds. You know, this is just my opinion. And if you have a different, if flavored coffees aren't your thing, then obviously this isn't the proper channel for you. But I just thought I'd give it a try, you know. So let's see. I don't know if it's cool enough for me to drink right at the moment, but I'm gonna give it a try. Okay, so I'm smelling the coffee actually right now before I drink it. Yeah, it's actually more powerful. The aroma of the vanilla and the coffee mix is more powerful during the percolating process. Right now, it's still, it's more, I smell mostly coffee. It's not so much the vanilla in there anymore. Okay. What I did was I just took maybe 3 sips of that, and it is a little bit on the scalding side, so I might have to come back in a few minutes and do another taste test. But in terms of black coffee, it's not as smooth. I noticed it maybe, and I have to say that this maybe it was the brewing process. It could have been the brewing process, and that I only percolated it for about 25 minutes, and I used about half the pack only, okay, which came out to be about maybe 8 tablespoons, and my intention was to make 4 cups of coffee, okay, about these sizes. So it is a little bit on the strong side for that reason, probably. But yeah, the coffee is definitely, it has a little bit more of a bite to it. And of course it's because it's, what you call it, percolated versus being a K-cup. The K-cups were a little bit more mellow, I noticed. So maybe it could have been the amount of coffee that I put in, because I'm shooting for at least 4 cups from 1 coffee percolating. Okay. No, it's not a bad, it's not, straight up black is not that bad either. I mean, you know, it tastes like any other coffee in a sense that it has the bitter taste of coffee. and it is a blend of, it's not full-blown Kona. It's a blend of other types, and I have to find out what those types are later on. Maybe I'll tell you probably in another video when I do the research. But it's and it's probably like a mix of some type of South American coffee. It's actually cooling off already really fast. Okay, now that it's sort of more palatable and it's not so hot, I can definitely taste the vanilla and the mac nut, like with the chocolate. It just kind of helps the flavor. Just kind of evens it out. The mac nut kind of just evens it out. Anyway, I'm gonna add the sweetener now. Let's see if it does anything like the way it did for the chocolate. I have no idea what to expect, so I'm gonna do one teaspoon of sugar, just one, which would be probably equivalent to maybe 1 cube. One cube. At least this way I don't have to worry about having to wait for it to melt. Alright, so, and usually I think they say you should put it in when it's really hot, so that it melts, the sugar melts. But since it's already ground up, it shouldn't be too bad. I'm going to give it another try. This is with the sweetener. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The sweetener really does help in that. Normally I drink coffee with a cream in it, or sometimes usually milk, not cream, milk. And this, just with the sweetener alone, is actually very doable for me, in the sense that if I just did the sweetener black, I could still get into this coffee without the milk, because the sweetener, what's the word? It counters the bitterness of the coffee, which is what it's supposed to do anyway. But it definitely evens it out. It evens out the bitterness of the coffee with the sweetener. And then it brings out the vanilla. I can taste the vanilla a lot better now, actually, than when it was just straight up bitter coffee with the vanilla flavor added. Okay, so this is what my review of what it is with the sweetener. And now I'm going to add the milk and see how that affects the whole 9 yards. Okay, so like now it's a nice light brown, isn't it? Now this was cold milk. Usually maybe you do a room temperature milk, or a cream, so that you don't cool off the coffee. But I'm good with lukewarm coffee. Drink it all the time. let's see. Okay, now that's an interesting, it has an interesting effect because it took away a lot of the sweetness of the sugar, but it didn't bring back the bitterness of the coffee. So it kind of, what it did was it mellowed out the coffee, and it also mellowed out the sugar. So it still has a sweetness there, but not quite as much as it was before when the coffee was, it was just the coffee and the sweetener. So the third one, it definitely is, it mellows out the whole flavor of the coffee. So it depends on what your taste is, of course. Maybe I put a little bit too much, I hope. But that's just my taste. I mean, I'm okay with it. It was good. And it did cool off the coffee quickly because of the milk. But in my opinion, okay, just an overall, I should have given a rating of the other coffee too. In my opinion, it's definitely a good coffee. It's very drinkable with whatever version of it you would do, whatever your taste is. Some people like to have it black because they like that bite, that caffeine bite, that coffee bite, you know. Even with the bitterness, when it comes to coffee and the bitterness of it, it's something that I drink it only because I accept coffee for what it is. Oh, what can I say? I do have a sweet tooth, and but I have to say that I was really surprised that when I added the sugar to the black coffee, I actually felt that I could actually just drink it without the cream or the milk, because it was really that good. I felt that it was that good because it just evened out the bitterness of the coffee, and it did bring out the vanilla in it. And the Mac nut is very light and barely noticeable, actually. So, and I'm doing like an aftertaste at the moment of how about what the flavor is in my mouth. It leaves a good flavor, you know, definitely leaving you wanting more. So if I were just to, if I don't want to do a rating system on coffee, because I can't say that this is the best coffee I've ever drank, but it's definitely there. I mean, it's not a bad thing. If I would buy it, would I buy it again? Yeah, I actually would. And whenever they do the samples in the store, I tend to choose the chocolate one, only because I have that kind of sweet tooth for it. But this is definitely my next choice, which is the Vanilla Macadamian Nut. So anyway, okay, so basically that's it for today, and I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel to get more reviews on different types of coffee. And for this coffee, if you're interested in it, and I do recommend it, you can click on the link below and it'll take you to Amazon, where you can purchase some of that. It is a Vanilla Macadamian Nut, and yeah, it's a fairly decent cup of coffee. It's something different. If you'd like to try something different, if you like vanilla, this is definitely I would suggest it. It's very good. So again, the link to that is in the description box below, and please subscribe to my channel. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.